Welcome to Lashback, everyone. I'm Natalyan.
I'm Phoebe, and today we're going to be talking about motivation and the things we avoid and resist and how to get past that. So kick us off, Nat.
Yeah, so I was thinking about this and we had a really interesting conversation. And for the listeners out there, when I need some reflection or assistance, I always go to my great best friend here, Phoebe. And we were actually talking about things to help you feel not so lost. We all have lost moments. So one of the things I do, which is quite popular now, is manifestation. But I thought it was interesting to talk about the things that I am aware that I do that I should release from my daily or weekly routine to help me. So, like, for example, doom scrolling at night, at midnight, doom scrolling in bed.
You've just said the word that's the key for the lock, which is awareness, because we can't change it if we don't know we're doing it. So yeah, the awareness of things is great. Although I've always found myself aware of the things that I'm resisting or getting in my way about. We get in our own way, don't we? And I'll be aware of it, and then I won't do anything about it. And then it's the awareness that annoys me most.
Why?
I'm doing that thing again. So, I mean, but then we could look at this from the lens of neurology. Of course, if every time we repeat a behavior, the groove in the brain, the synapse becomes
Absolutely.
stronger and stronger and stronger, and therefore harder and harder and harder to break.
And if you're not aware of it, you can't then break that.
We can look at that totally. We can look at it psychologically, and the law of positive intention. So, somebody's got a terrible drinking habit and that's really bad for their health, and they know that that's really bad for their health and their finances, but it's the only way that they can find peace. So until they find peace some other way, it's going to be really hard to break. The law of positive intention is actually really liberating. If you can stop the judgment, I'm doing that thing again and I'm always doing that thing. I'm such a bad person. Stop. You're not a bad person. Ask yourself the question, what's my positive intention? The method might be totally whack and really unhelpful, but there is always a positive reason. Our subconscious mind only wants to protect us. So when we're like automatically reaching for that bad habit, what's the positive intention? It's absolutely liberating.
You know what I think is really interesting? And we were even talking about this before we did this episode. We probably should have recorded that because that was really interesting as well. But what I've found is the things that I think you mentioned the word judgment, which is key to not judge yourself.
Yeah.
Because it just puts you in a deeper hole, like, oh, I'm doing that again. What was really interesting to me, and I was on this group class session to do with road mapping the life that you want to create. And one tip that I was given was really interesting, was change one thing this week or do one thing this week that's going to help you towards it, that's achievable. Like
all at once.
Yeah, I'm trying to write a book, write 100 words this week. Okay. And also release one thing that's a hindrance to that. So I said to myself, I really need to, and I've made a list here, I really need to stop late night scrolling.
Yeah.
Other people's lives who have just had a wonderful wedding, who have just bought their second house, that have achieved their goals in music, and I'm not there yet because it brings me down again. But that's for me.
Then you have a bad night's sleep, not least because you've got blue light messing up your brain waves.
That's happened to me a lot in the last couple of months. I said that to you, that I felt a little bit in limbo at the moment. Like, what's my next move? I'm a bit bored of some things I'm doing. What's my next move? And I'm looking at everyone else's life. You should never do that.
Good sleep is your next move.
Yes.
Because we can't make no decisions. I mean, like, to put my hat in the ring, I've just finished this master's that I've been banging on about. And, 2 or 3 months of like absolutely working toward a deadline. And then the deadline is over. And I'm like, the letdown reflex is real. And I'm like, absolutely knackered. And, actually can't make the decision. Don't have the brain capacity yet because I haven't recovered yet enough to make the decisions about the next step, because I've written an album and I've got a whole plan. I've had to write a plan for the presentation about what am I going to do with this piece of work. And I haven't actioned any of that plan yet because actually I'm tired. And
you gave me a great tip earlier. I'm trying to put together a new group for a specific show. And I'm kind of hard on myself that I haven't done it yet. I should have absolutely have done it by now. But I'm kind of hesitant because I'm not there yet, so I haven't even started. And you said to me, just rehearse your set that you're going to do with the band, and then you'll make the other steps. Don't not start because the end seems so far away. That's a really good tip.
I mean, and also it's like agile project management, huh?
Yeah.
Like in your day job,
yeah.
What we do is like, oh, we need to, let's fund some research so we can scope the project. And then, when we've got we won't make any decisions about, the deliverables of the project until the research has been done. And then we'll have a stakeholder think about our research. It's very difficult from an artistic perspective because you are stakeholder, consultant, end user, all of those things were mashed up, and it's a little bit more personal because it's your
and managing other people is much easier than managing yourself. I could stand on a stage and motivate the whole arena to go and change their life, but doing it for yourselves, you've got your own insecurities and blockers.
I saw this great cartoon the other day. It was a picture of it's done the rounds, lots of different people. It's like me giving great advice to my friends, and it's like somebody doing, and then my life, and it's a house on fire.
Yeah. That's my recent couple of months, and I'm not even going to shy away from that. That's what my last couple of months have been, and that's me being vulnerable.
One of the most effective coaching questions, and I'll ask nearly in every coaching relationship I've had. And almost nearly every session, actually, I will always ask, what would you tell a friend? So much easier to access your own good advice when it's not about yourself. But going back to the getting to a project thing, and if you can break things down, because actually if you get really set on what the end goal looks like, that might bring forward resistance and overwhelm and all of that kind of thing. But also you're setting setting an expectation of something when you haven't even started the discovery and the research and the practice. And who knows? So for example, you practice your set, and because that set's in your body because you practiced it this morning, you're driving to the shop and you notice the place saying looking for artists.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have noticed. This is manifesting stuff. You wouldn't have noticed that if you hadn't practiced your set this morning. So it's that kind of Neville Goddard thing, of assume as if, assume it's already happened, act like it's already there, and then things will come to you. And it's not that, there's some divine being, handing you favors, that you are literally programming your brain to notice opportunity.
Absolutely. You're acting. I think there's a good combination for me, because talking about expectation and that end goal can be overwhelming, and then you just don't do any of it.
Through the practice, the end goal might be different, might be better.
Exactly. But I think this is what's starting to work for me, and it's changed over the years. My vision board, and I said this to you, I got my vision board out of the cupboard. I normally do one, in the first week of January every year, and I didn't, due to just not being in that place. And it's been in the cupboard. I got it out, and on, say, I think 10 to 15 items, 70 to 80% I'd done and not realized it, even down to I wanted a property like this, and I had a picture and it looks exactly the same as my property, car, and not so materialistic things in there. Like I had like a list of things pointing, and I'd done them and I just didn't realize, and that gave me such a great feeling. So I think that having a vision board, because it's not exact, of things that you want to achieve, like writing a book, or going on holiday with your friends, or being in a a cuddling gesture with all the people you haven't seen for a while more frequently. You're having that, but then what I've been starting to do is build in a roadmap of high level things that I want to do each month, rather than my intense lists, which
they are intense. Your lists are really intense.
No, they are.
Listeners, her lists are really intense. I mean, I thought my 3 to-do list system was a bit overbearing, but this one, oh my God.
I'm getting better though. I'm getting better. I'm still not there. but I'm going to have a roadmap. And I said that I'm going to build this roadmap. Roadmaps are what we do as project managers as well, which is my other hat that I wear outside of music. But I'm going to do a roadmap. And I've also, by doing that, I've realized that the 5 things that I really want to achieve in life, the 5 big things, they're all actually 3 things. I just didn't realize it until I did this exercise.
Connected. Yeah.
So like, something from public speaking to my book writing, it's actually the same thing. It's an evolution of one into the other. So I've actually, by doing it, broken it down.
The master's project is quite interesting. You know, me, I'm a coach, consultant, yoga teacher, singer, songwriter, all of these things, work in organisational development in the cultural sector, all of these things. And my artist project being Phoebe and the Queen. The title of my work was Who is the Queen? What am I talking about? Very early on, my program leader said, is there a way you can bring all of this into the same space? So these 12 songs that I've written, I've really researched that. Like, how can I've written a song that's very yoga based. I've written other songs that there's a thread of equality, diversity, and inclusion in every song that I've written in this project. I'm using language that I use in workplaces to change hearts and minds about, anti-racism practice, or include, using pronouns properly, or all of those kind of things. And it's quite, I think integration's a really interesting space. Maybe we keep things separate on purpose sometimes because it feels like we need to have those different parts of ourselves separate. But actually, if we can challenge ourselves,
it's overwhelmed me because the way that it made me feel with all these different things I wanted to do, that I was being a bit non-committal. And should I be going, what was stopping me from going forward with anything? I was trying to make a decision, on either do this, Natalyan, do this or do this. But actually, they're the same thing. They're just at different stages in my roadmap.
Yeah, indeed. And again, we've got to start talking about practice again. You're writing a book, which means because you've done that writing of the book, you've got the words in your mouth when you're on the mic speaking.
Absolutely.
It's like, actually, what's the practice? What do you get up and do with your first hour of the day? Like, do you scroll? I got into a habit, like when social media was very new, and certainly during COVID, get up in the morning and scroll on Instagram or whatever.
Yeah, I used to.
I stopped doing that. I don't look at a screen for the first hour of my day.
No, I don't. Apart from not social media. But do you know what I do now? I think I might have told you this, and I've started this up, although I haven't got it, consistent yet. Is I try to do some form of exercise every day, which may sound significant to some, easy to some people, but I've got a gym membership, but I found it difficult going there every so I've got an itchy nose.
Well, you work at I'm chair shaped from the work I do. A lot of the work I do makes me chair shaped.
Yeah. So so what I've decided is, because I live on a lake and I have a pool, is that I do one form of exercise a day, and it's not necessarily intense. So on Tuesday and Thursdays now, I try and do water aerobics with the wonderful, most of them are retired ladies, and it's not intense, but I've realised
your brain movement.
No, it's so many different things. You're fresh air, you're going in the water, you have a lovely non-work. These people don't know anything about me. We just have, surface level chats. But I have realised significantly that the days that I do that water aerobics, I have a great day. And then the other days I'm trying to kayak, same, I have a great day. And then the days I don't do anything, I'm kind of, for want of a better word, rotting indoors.
Stagnation. I mean, our bodies, who sees when you see? I keep playing with my friend. Who sees when you see? Like, we've got our physical being and we've got our consciousness, and maybe they're not the same thing, because my eyes are seeing, but there's a someone noticing what the eyes are telling my brain. Right? This is a Michael Singer thing. He wrote a book called The Unfeathered Soul. Very, very cool book.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting, isn't it? And I think the mind-body connection is massive. Like, if we don't move our body, then our mind stops moving. We need to move. I'll walk around the block sometimes. I'll be like, finish a meeting, and I could get into the next task still sat here, or I could get up and I could walk around the block, and it takes me 5 minutes. But I sit back down, I'm like, Okay. I do that more in the summer than I do in the winter, though, I must be honest.
Or you could do my, which I mentioned in a previous episode to do with motivational techniques, is you could dip your head in an ice bucket.
Never, no, not doing that, no.
Yeah, I urge you to do that just once. You'll never go back.
Maybe I'll try. I mean, there's a lot of research around dipping your whole body in ice. It's very
I mean, that's just, I haven't got enough ice for that. It would take too long.
I know people that do it religiously, and
generally, your celebrities who have
it's
40
really
bags of ice. Oh no, it's really I don't know what's wrong with my throat today. But no, that's really good because a lot of dancers and people that have like Scary Spice from Spice Girls, she shares videos of her getting in a bath after she's done a tour. She does a lot of dancing around because it repairs your muscles and it's intense. But I think when I last watched her do it, the big bags of ice, she probably put 25 in there. I mean,
and somebody's gone to the shop to get them for her.
That's what I mean. It's not practical. Yeah. So I put my head in and my body just suffers.
Fair. So this is interesting. I mean, and going back to what I was saying, there's a psychological way to look at this. There's neurological and physiological ways to look at all of this. When we're talking,
they all need to be looked at. Is the point?
Yeah, well, we're talking about motivation. We are talking about Jim Quick, who's a coach, talks about the H cubed, head, heart, hands. You have to kind of have everything in play to get stuff done. So if you don't have everything in those bits, then like I'm really tired and I can't think straight. So okay, physiologically, I can't be motivated. I need to go to bed for the day, or for get an early night, and then tomorrow I'll have the mental capacity to do something. You kind of have to look after the body, the mind, and I guess the brain. What are you eating? You're like overloading yourself with caffeine and sugar, and no wonder you can't get something done in the afternoon because you've got a massive slump going on with your glucose. And what's beautiful about this day and age, and difficult also, is that information is there. You just got to try. We've just got to try not to read it in bed when we're trying to sleep.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's about that.
Oh, this is interesting. Oh, here's a little reel about something to do with my brain. No, go to sleep. Well,
I watched talking about Jim Quick, I watched a whole seminar on him in bed. So I did it's positive and negative at the same time. And he's talking about the brain, and he's the one who didn't have a brain injury or something.
Yeah, as a kid.
Yeah, and he just didn't know what to achieve, and he went to his friend's house for dinner or something, and the parent had said to him, this is very summarized. He said, "What do you want to do?" or something along those lines, and he's like, "I just don't know." And he said, "Well, write down exactly what you want to do. Like, if you could do anything in the universe, what would you do?" And he wrote it down, not thinking anything of it, and he said, "Well, go and do it." And there's more to it, but training your brain is key. So you have to do all these different.
Be your word. Be your word. We're talking accountability. Every time you say, "I'm going to go to the gym today," or whatever it is, and then you don't do it, you're training your brain not to do it.
But also, there's a balance. There's a balance of then not hating yourself for not doing it, because
not putting too much on your to-do list.
That's, I think, the key, because we've already mentioned this in this episode, that I'm guilty beyond words of putting too much where there's not enough hours in the day, Natalyan, to do that. So I'm not going to achieve that. So I've already kind of let myself down, and then I hate myself for it. So you have to be accountable, and you have to learn what's achievable in your life and all the other things that are going around it, and not put too much on your list. But then when you say you're going to do water aerobics, kayaking, gym, or write 100 words for your book, do it, even if those 100 words are rubbish.
So I think we've talked motivation today. We need to do a future episode on discipline.
Yep, I couldn't agree more. That's a great idea. I'm writing that down. Well, we're at time now.
We are.
Close it out, Phoebe.
I'll talk you out. It's been lovely chatting on this topic. Listeners, watchers, please do give us your comments. What motivates you? What doesn't motivate you? How do you get past yourself when you're in your own way? And we'll be back next week. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening. See you guys.